guys, it is April from Getting Hygge With It. Today I'm going to do the Unpopular Opinions book tag. I remember Stephanie from That's What She Read doing this tag, and she's talked about how this was one of her favorite tags, and she encouraged me to do it a long time ago. I think we were just talking on Voxer, and she was saying that this was a tag she enjoyed. So here I am. This was originally created by The Book Archer. I was not tagged by anyone to do this, so I'm just doing it on my own. I think it's an old tag, but I thought the questions were fun and I wanted to do it. So let's get into it. The first question is a popular book or series that you didn't like. And for this, I'm choosing The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I'm not going to say this was a horrible book. I've still got it on my shelves. I gave it 3 stars. It's not horrible. I really struggled with some of the characters. I struggled with, again, it's got this thing where, you know, women who are infertile are kind of painted as villains versus women who get pregnant really quickly or unintentionally. They're painted as heroines or victims, and I just really struggle with that with that in books, and it was here in The Forgotten Garden, which made me sad. It's funny though, because the first 100 pages of The Forgotten Garden I was totally sucked into. This is about a little girl who is found on a ship. She's put on this ship from England and she's found in Australia. The dockmaster and his wife take her in and raise her as their own. And it's about her life and trying to find out the mystery of where she came from. And it's a really interesting premise. I just didn't like that trope. I also really didn't like that there were storylines in here that just kind of got dropped and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of people who love Kate Morton, this seems to be their favorite. And I really don't know why, because I think she gets better as she writes. I really enjoyed The Lake House. I liked The Secret Keeper. Yeah, so I just think that she gets better as she writes. So yeah, The Forgotten Garden didn't do it for me. Number 2, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate but you love. And for this I'm choosing The Dinner by Herman Koch. This follows a very unlikable character. All of the characters in this book are kind of unlikable, but it's I wouldn't call it a thriller. If it was going to be a thriller, and we're going to smack that label on it, it's a very slow moving thriller. This is more of a character study than anything else. But we follow 2 couples. The men in these couples are brothers, and they don't like each other at all. And they all go out to dinner to discuss their children. Their children have done something that's not so great, and they're all there to discuss it. And yeah, we hear it from the perspective of one of the brothers. And it's just a lovely orange that I loved. I loved peeling this back. It was so fun to me. I also listened to this on audio, and I remember the audio being fantastic. So if you're hesitating to read The Dinner, you might want to try it on audio. Number 3, a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with. I am not going to answer this question because I don't read books like that. I really don't. That usually is found in YA. Which leads me to the next question. Number 4, a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. YA. I really struggle with YA. So far, I have enjoyed The Hunger Games. I have enjoyed the Every Heart a Doorway series. And I've got Arudis Petties on my shelves. But other than that, I really don't like YA. I I think because of the stage I am in my life, I'm 37, it's been a hot second since I was 15 and had all of the 15-year-old feels and the angst and stuff. And yeah, so I just don't reach for it. Okay, so number 5, a popular or beloved character that you do not like. And for this, I chose Evelyn Hugo in the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. There's something about Evelyn that you're drawn to, though. So she doesn't do the nicest things in this book. She can use people. She's not always kind to people. However, you are rooting for her the whole time. I was totally enthralled by her. I wanted to know what she was going to do next, how she's going to get out of the pickle that the many, many pickles that she gets into. I really loved the book. I just didn't always love Evelyn Hugo and all of her decisions. Number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. And okay, so for this, it's kind of true and false. I chose Robert Galbraith. So Robert Galbraith is actually J.K. Rowling. I love J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. Don't worry. But I really couldn't get into A Cuckoo's Calling or The Cuckoo's Calling. I read it and I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like the detective. I really didn't care about the mystery. So I'm not going to follow along with that series. I'm kind of done with that series. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I mean, it's J.K. Rowling. It's going to be brilliant, right? Not when she's Robert Galbraith, in my opinion. Okay, number 7, a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. For this, it's kind of similar to what I was talking about with Forgotten Garden. It's the trope of, like, characters getting pregnant incredibly easily in books. Like, they tried once and they got pregnant. I hate that. I also really don't like, women going through infertility being cast as the villain. That often seems to happen, and that's really annoying for me. And it definitely knocks down my love for that, whatever book that trope is in, quite a few pegs. A popular book series that you have no interest in reading. For this, from me, it's just Outlander. I don't want to read Outlander. I'm not a big romance person, and there's a lot of romance in Outlander. I started to watch this TV series because I knew I wasn't going to read it. I started watching it and I got one episode in and I was like, too much kissing. Why isn't everyone sad? So I didn't like it. Yeah. Number 9, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? For this, I definitely am going to have to pick It by Stephen King. Don't get me wrong, there's so much that went into Stephen King's writing with It that I enjoyed. I enjoyed that it was like this, I hope that it was a criticism about society's ugliness. So it kind of has the 50s and the 80s, right? The 50s or the 60s? I think late 50s and the 80s. And in the 50s, it's the ugliness of racism, and in the 80s, it's the ugliness of homophobia. And those things rear their ugly heads in society in this little town of Derby, I think it was called. And when it rears its ugly head, it seems that it comes to life. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was, if it was a social criticism, I really enjoyed it. But there were scenes in here that were just totally random and kind of ruined the storyline to me. And I don't really love Stephen King's writing. I find it very I feel like he needs a good editor, honestly. You couldn't, if you were an editor, you couldn't really edit his stuff because that would be really hard to do, but because he's so popular. But I just find him incredibly wordy for no reason, and I'm just like, get to the point, get to the scary, please. I just, yeah. So, but the movie was brilliant. It was so hilarious. Now, we only are in the 80s in this movie, and then part 2, I think, is coming out in the next couple of years, and that will be taking place like 30 years later, I guess. So, yeah. Really, I just loved that movie. I thought it was better than the book, but probably just me. So those are the questions. I'm not going to tag anyone in this because this is a super old tag. So if you haven't done this tag and you feel like doing it, please do. And I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.